What is good, guys? Welcome back. We've got a highly requested leg day today. Solo session, but we're gonna break down the precision of how I'm training legs at the moment. It's critical that I don't get the legs too big, I don't grow too much muscle on the legs, because as a men's physique athlete, when you turn pro, you have a cap. My cap is 89 kilogram. I was 84, 85 on stage. I'm currently 96.5, relatively lean. So as I come down, I'll probably be touching that weight cap. So wasted tissue on the legs is wasted tissue, but we're still gonna put them in an optimal spot so that they don't wither away. So the leg day essentially is starting with leg curl, into a hip extension, into a hack or a pendulum, into a leg press, more of a hip press variation, as backloading at the minute is hurting quite a lot due to the increased weight, and then we're onto a leg extension, and we finish with some calves. The volume's relatively low, as I've said, but we'll break down, give you exact cues of how to train legs, because I often see them train with intensity, but not always the right execution or the right tempo. So we're very specific with how we're hitting and how we're training legs at the minute, so we'll get into it. So we have 3 sets here. One set of 10 to 12, one set of 8 to 10, and then a set of 12 to 15. The key focus here is to really ensure that you're keeping your hips locked and fixed into the pad. So the explanation and the best way that I can break this down is, imagine you've got a nut in between your ass and you're trying to crack it. So it's almost like that sticking position there to force your hips into the pad, and also make sure that the pad is further up your legs. I always see a lot of people with the pad down on the heels. You want the pad mid-bias up here so that you can get your hamstrings fully short. The focus really is just keeping that tension on throughout, not lifting the hips up, not bouncing, not using any momentum. And we hit the hamstrings first because they're fresh. So the ability to get them short in the lengthened environment and the shortened here is optimized because of the prime piece of kit and where we utilize the pin settings on this. So let the pleasure begin. You notice there throughout the full set, the hips remain fixed into the pad, so the tension doesn't drop off. There's been absolutely zero momentum used there, and the minute the momentum starts to get used, the set to me is finished then. So it's about optimizing effective reps and staying and keeping those reps effective. I'm going to pay the price for not training legs for quite some time here. 2 sets in, and it's a firm reminder of why you should never skip leg day. Fuck. Exercise 1 done, and I'm feeling it. 45-degree hip extension, so primary focus here is hamstring and glute bias, but we also get a little bit of that lower back and a little bit of erectors, which is perfect for men's physique. So this is what I mean by we're being very specific with the programming. We're not coming in and just smashing quads or straight away following a standard setup in terms of leg day. We're picking up extra volume and extra points where we can across the weak areas of my physique. So 3 straight sets of this, I believe. Dumbbell loading. I'm gonna ask my man, who's got a very comfy seat, how many sets he's got left. Nice one, thanks, bro. So 3 sets of 8 to 12 here. The final set is a rest pause till I hit 20 reps. So we're just loading it with 20 kilogram a side. Like anything, applying progressive overload as the weeks go on, but primary focus here is loading the glutes and the erectors. So there's no need for any hyperextension or too much thoracic curve. It's all about just emphasis on when you're in that lengthened position, using that same analogy again of cracking a nut with your ass, and And that's where the contraction is. It starts in the glutes, finishes in the erectors. So we've gone pendulum or hack squat, 2 sets. Decision made, we've gone for what I believe is called the M-Torture hack squat. It says it in the name, what I deserve for not being on it with legs, but 2 straight sets here, and the focus is being really critical on the eccentric portion of the movement here, demanding a response from the quad and biasing that quad. So if you look at what we've done so far, the quads are fresh. We should be ready to load them here. So it's about really taking the tempo cue with complete accuracy, really being aggressive in that eccentric with complete control, and then explosive out of that into the concentric. So what you want to think about with the concentric is, imagine this is a piece of glass and you're trying to fucking force your feet through it, and I guarantee you'll get to the top of the rep. Not looking forward to this. Everything about that felt shit. We're gonna feel it again. 1 plate aside, felt heavy. This is the importance of like a new machine setup and getting comfortable with it. Don't rush into it. I've not trained legs properly, so everything's gonna feel a little bit heavier, but we still wanna try and get the same bang for the buck, right? We wanna be accurate within the movement. So just dropping that weight a little bit lighter today to chase the accuracy and the intensity rather than just the load, but just getting familiar with the machine. It's quite a rough pad that, but we'll see. Still feels okay, but these again, this is the importance of a warm-up set. So now I'm mentally trying to focus as much as possible to try and prepare myself for what's to come. I know it's not going to be nice, I know it's not going to be pretty, but these are the sets that count now. These are the big sets now. Like, the music's good in venues, but sometimes it's, with sets like this, can be a little bit distracting, so I'm just going to switch on now. It's a completely new territory. If I get 7, I'll be happy. It's a very heavy machine that I've done 4 plates on a hack squat before on a Cybex. It feels heavier than a Cybex is. It's really heavy at the bottom and it's really demanding on the eccentric, so to keep the eccentric strict, you have to work incredibly hard. It's a machine that would just carry you through the eccentric. Fucking hell, I'm out of breath. Whew. Hack squat polished off, and it feels good to get under some decent load on legs again. Like, before I came into bodybuilding and men's physique and I was close to the weight cap, anybody who knows me knows, like, I enjoy training legs. But now, obviously having to limit it, it's testing even more so when you come to that day again. It's like, ooh. So it's nice to get under the weight. It's nice to test myself, because I truly believe, like, there's training to failure and then there's training to failure with legs. It's a new ocean. So we're on to the leg press now. 1 set, all out quad bias again here. 15 to 20 reps, all about emphasis on time under tension and that strict control of the tempo. So 3-second eccentric, 2-second pause, 2-second concentric, 1-second pause.
That is the worst machine ever to get out of. I've got my calves now sat on a razor pad that is fucking killing. And I've just done a 20 rep set with 2-second pauses. And I can't move. Fuck legs. Oh, firm reminder of why I chose men's physique. Because I'm gaining a lot of weight now, my lower back is hurting quite a lot at this point. So that's all the bigger compounds done. Just the accessory work now. So some leg extensions, an adductor and toe press. So we're nearly there. Give me a headache, that leg press. Oh, severe headache. Leg extension now, 2 sets, higher volume, 112 to 15, 115 to 20. Big emphasis on essentially holding for a second in the lengthened and a second in the shortened. So big cues on tempo again to really be specific where we're essentially challenging the muscle. The quad still has the ability to get shorter. This is going to diminish that ability and completely finish the quad off now. So in an ideal world, when a gym has 8 leg extensions, I think there's a prime one where you can adjust the length here, but realistically, this doesn't allow you to roll the pad far enough up your shin. And as I said, ideally, you want this pad as far up your shin as possible in order to get your quad short. So we just need to work with what we've got here. Ideally, it's not great because I want the pad up here. So my ability to get the quad short has improved. However, we don't have that luxury at this set gym. So we work with the kit that we've got, and we're just a little bit more accurate with how we complete the movement. So throughout, you'll notice there that the tempo stayed the same, even though my quads was on fire. I didn't start chasing numbers with reps. I keep the tempo exactly the same because that's what's driving the tension. You then picking that pace up and that momentum, the tempo cue shifts and the accuracy of your reps diminishes again. So when you're in a set and it's burning and it's hurting, remain composed. Keep the tempo the exact same and the amount of stimulus you'll generate will be much more, so consider that. I'm at that part of the session now, guys, where I just feel like shit. I've had too much pre-workout, got indigestion, I've got a headache, my legs are fucking killing. And I'm going through it. But I'd say this is when it really counts, but genuinely means absolutely sweet fuck all for me, other than just pain that I don't need. But I'm embracing it and I'm doing it and I'm showing you guys how to train legs. But yeah, the reward here is very minimal for me at the minute. But I guess you've just got to look at, you want a balanced physique. You don't want no chicken legs. And my calves are not doing me any favours at the minute. So it's about balance, symmetry and proportion. So I keep telling myself that. Firm reminder, keep your head in the game. Sets done, but I'm gonna add an additional set in here and just do 3 sets. I feel like my quads have got a little bit left in them, so I'm gonna take a little bit more volume here. But if you notice at the end of that, what I was doing is partial reps, just trying to take as much out of the lengthened environment as possible. So we've got them short, now let's take a little bit more out of that lengthened environment there. So yeah, 1 more set. Not sure why, but I fancy it. That's the quads finished. Now we're going to do one set on the adductor, which is like essentially a cluster set. We pick a load where we fail at like 10 to 12 reps. We have a rest pause, and then we continue till we hit 30 reps essentially. It's not a lot of fun, but it's a must at the minute. So then we complete that and we're on to toe press to grow the calves.
So I always say to people, you make time for things that are important in life. And for me, at the minute, the whole part of today is about being efficient with your time, prioritizing your tasks. One thing I actually want is bigger calves. But because I am that strapped for time at the minute, I'm doing abs 4 times a week before the start of the sessions, which adds 20 minutes. The training program is that selective that the training sessions are probably lasting 90 minutes to upwards of 2 hours. And I just don't have the time to train these calves. But the bigger I get on the top half, the worse I look on the bottom. So from this point onwards, I'm gonna try and hit them 3 times a week, because 3 sets every 3 weeks is definitely not enough.
Adductor cluster set here. 30 reps, fail at 10 to 12, 15 seconds, then back in. Not sure these shorts are going to allow me to be fully lengthened. This is an exercise that I connect well with, but the whole concept of this exercise is just think about getting your knees together. I see a lot of people creating a lot of, let's say, momentum with driving the hips aggressively together. Just keep the hips locked. Think about driving your knees together. That's all you need to think about. And don't slam the pads in the central environment. Just again, keep the tension on. The minute the pads touch, they're off. It's all about control and emphasis on that tempo. Fuck. This is not good.
Surely there's a smarter way to get in.
Fuck me, this has not even got a bench on the back of it. I thought it was uncomfy, mate. My back's fucking killing. No pain, no gain. Oh, bastard. Seconds rest now. It's not about having a rest here, it's just a rest pause. Gather a little bit more momentum, little deep breath and you're back in. So that's how a leg day is currently looking at the minute. The ideal time frame that I'm hitting that is once every 10 days. The other session within the other week is pretty much arms and delts as a top up. But yeah, it's quite a specific leg day where we start off primarily with hamstrings and a little bit of loading of the adductor to help with that posterior chain development, which is some feedback that I've been given from the judges. And then we move on to more quad work with the leg extension, the hack squat, which is quad bias, and then the leg press. And then we finish off with some adductors just to complete the legs and some toe press to complete the calf. So we do hit abs 4 days a week. It's not on leg day, thank fuck, because otherwise, to do abs now, no thank you. I am going to be bringing what I've been doing specifically for my ab work, because throughout the whole prep, I had a lot of anxiety around my midsection. Even when I was 2 weeks out, like in the morning it was there, but the more I ate, the just softer it looked, which for me, like men's physique is all about abs and midsection. The symmetry and the proportions of my midsection is on the money, but the depth and the amount of muscle that I hold there is very weak. So we've really developed the abs over the last 4 months since Milan, and we've got another 2 months here to be as meticulous with that and continue to grow them in prep. So the frequency of those to develop and grow has had to significantly develop, like my arms, like my lower lats. So we're really just getting into the early days of the programming, what it's like. So the channel's going to see the full development of what it truly takes to program an IFBB Pro physique, because that's what it's going to be. Great session. Go and lay on the settee now for a couple of hours and shift that fatigue that's going to accumulate over the next couple of weeks. But as always, thank you for watching. If there's anything that you want to see, remember to comment, like, and I'll see you in the next one.